up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Abundance Podcast. I'm your host, Sonia Gomez, and I am so honored to be here with you on another show. As you know, I'm hand selecting every single one of my guests, and they are here because they are at the top of their game in their industry, making a massive impact in both life and business, helping not only themselves, but their clients, customers, and the people that they serve create abundance in their lives and businesses. And I'm so excited to dive in with my guest today. Guys, if you haven't done so already, I'm going to just invite you to take a couple of small actions. I want you to like, share, make sure that you tag 5 people that you believe this content will make a difference from or make a difference for. Because you take these small actions, we've been able to impact millions of people worldwide with our message about freedom. And as you know, I am wildly passionate to empower you. As a matter of fact, I'm on a mission to empower you with the truth so that you can make informed and educated decisions about how you care for yourself, your family, your loved ones, and more importantly, how you're building your legacy for the generations that are going to come behind us. Today, my guest is Jennifer Eastman, known as the AI tech boss, and she is a remarkable figure in the fields of education, technology, and entrepreneurship. Originally from Canada, but now based in New York City, Jennifer's journey is one of resilience and determination. Her journey over 2 decades reflects innovation and impactful transformation. She spent 25 years, including 19 as a director of athletics at top private schools in New York City. Jennifer's entrepreneurial spirit shines through in her ventures, including launching 2 companies. Boss Life Mastery focuses on health and fitness coaching, while AI Tech Boss Academy helps aspiring entrepreneurs launch their brands and businesses online. Guidance in these ventures has led to success for her clients, including 6-figure profits. Jennifer has also co-authored 2 books with top thought leaders who share their secrets for living an extraordinary life. Here to share more about what she's doing and how she can help you create transformation in your life and business, help me welcome my good friend, Jennifer Eastman.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Wow.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you on the show. You're the co-founder of Boss Life Mastery, founder of JP Unlimited LLC, AI Tech Boss Academy, and TriStar Publishing. You're an author, you're a respected leader. I want to ask you to kick off this podcast episode. What does legacy mean to you?
Legacy really means just leaving a path that's a little bit more smoother than I took for my family, for my daughter particularly. It's great that I'm doing these things now so that when she becomes an adult, that she can kind of take some of the things I've done and continue on with them and build them further. I know a lot of people want legacy to be that I want my name stamped. That's great, but my main goal is for my family to be able to carry on what I do today.
You're diving into the right industry, incorporating AI into your work. I know you've done a ton of work in the education space. As a mom of 4 myself, I always look for leaders and educators like yourself to be a part of my kids' lives. People who are not afraid to look at what's currently happening, and more importantly, how to leverage and partner with technology to make things a little bit easier. Share with me and my audience about what you're doing to prepare your daughter for her future and how these tools might be playing a role.
I'm so glad you asked that because every time I take on a new venture, I'm always pulling her in, right? So, for example, you mentioned I was co-authored in two books with some incredible people. As I was writing them, I had her involved in that process, and that in turn helped her. And I'll just show you right quick. Wrote one of her own journal, right? So I helped her with all the tools using AI, using technology to be able to catapult and launch her own things. We've done slime businesses with her. She wanted to do body butter business. So every time I'm doing something, I say, hey, hon, how can you also do something as well? To get that little entrepreneurial spirit
It's really
in her.
important to feed that creativity in kids and help them recognize what's possible. I've always tried to push my kids to understand that behind every limitation or challenge, there's a huge opportunity. And getting their mindset in that place early on is one of the biggest advantages that they've had. And I love to brag about their success, but it's also a testament to who we are as parents when you can empower the next generation to do things differently and hopefully better than you. You're really looking at a winning formula there. I want to just backtrack a little bit because it's pretty fascinating to hear you go from, kind of a traditional teaching role into supporting entrepreneurs to launch and scale their businesses online. Share with me a little bit about your background and how you stepped in to become the AI tech boss.
Yeah, so it's funny when I hear you say that, stepping from education into entrepreneurship, because to me, they're so interconnected. Being in education for over 25 years, I just absolutely love teaching, and I love just kind of creating things and doing new ventures. So as I was teaching, I felt like I hit a little bit of a ceiling. So then I went into administration, which I am in right now. I absolutely love it. But as I'm doing my day to day work, I do love it. So I just want to make sure everyone knows I do love it. I kept saying, I want to do more. So for the last 20 years, and you'll love this, I starting my own businesses. First, I started with my mom. We started doing a gift basket business, and this was before AI and everything. Then we did a photography business. Then we did, what else I did? I did video calling before FaceTime. So I tried at least 12 different businesses in the past, I would say, my first 10 years, one every year pretty well. People would look at me as a serial entrepreneurial. Then I would do a lot of MLMs. I would be selling different products for different companies. And so I finally, I say not backpedaled, fast forward to COVID. And I said, you know what? There has to be something in this space that while I'm at home. And that's when I, launched the two different businesses and started a whole bunch of other things as well. But it just was always in me. And as I was learning how to launch these different businesses, I said, you know what? I want to teach others how to do it as well. And that's how the education part comes in. So as I'm learning, I'm teaching other entrepreneurs as well as my own family, my mom and my daughter. So that's kind of how it merged
For
together.
you as a serial entrepreneur, and I'm always really interested. As a matter of fact, I just had John Lee Dumas, who's one of the world's most respected podcasters, on my show. And during that show, we talked about, I mean, what do you ask the guy that has been asked every question, known to mankind? But one of the things we talked about is the importance of building a brand, your own personal brand, and different ways that you can leverage content and community to do so. How is AI accelerating your clients' success when they're looking at building a personal brand or launching their business online?
I love John Lee Dumas as well. I was in a coaching session with him as well. He's pretty awesome. Honestly, it makes it more accessible for people. So everyone always heard, oh, you have to have your own brand, launch your own brand, and it always kind of seemed far out there. Like I don't know how to do it. With AI, there are so many tools that you can plug in your bio, plug in how you want something to look, plug in how you want something to feel, and it will give you some samples and ideas on how to do that. And then you take that and then launch your own personal brand. Even before AI came, my brand was kind of like all over the place, right? I didn't really have it that refined. I was doing a little bit of everything. But with AI, I've been able to kind of refine it a little bit more and get more clear and more precise on exactly who am I in this world of education? Who am I in this world of AI and tech? Which is why I've coined myself the AI tech boss, because when you think of that, you think of, oh, that's someone who could help me with AI and tech. And then I coined boss because I want to stand firm in my belief that, you know what, I'm a boss in my profession. I'm saying that I'm a boss in AI and tech, and I'm going to help you become that as well. So that's why it's super important for branding, whether it's the colors, whether it's your message, whether it's who you serve, but that's definitely important.
One of the things that I've found really fascinating about AI and leveraging that in my own business, and I'll just, for all of you guys who are listening who perhaps don't consider yourself to be technologically advanced, I'm a self-renowned tech tard. So I do not deal in technology at all. However, we leverage AI and technology quite a bit in my business. And what it allows me to do is stay in my lane of genius. So some of the things that AI has helped me do is the market research for the industry that I'm going into. That's number one when I'm entering into new spaces or when I'm supporting my clients building and growing their communities and commerce online, is really understanding the market that I'm entering into. What are the pain points? What are the income opportunities? Where is the holes in the market? By understanding this basic things about the industry, I'm able to fill any gaps. I'm able to create a unique selling point. I'm able to set myself apart. Whether you're looking at your logo or your messaging or your offer, AI fast tracks that market research so that you're not spending days, weeks, months and losing momentum with your passion or your purpose to serve. The other thing that I really love about using AI in my business is it will give me the framework that I need in order to put my unique voice in it. For instance, in every sales letter, there is a format that you follow, but there's only one unique you. So although it gives me a solid framework, I'm able to put my own personality, my own flair, the thing that makes me an individual into that framework and have it come alive in a lot faster. If there's any secret that I can share with you, you have to find tools, team, techniques, and strategies that will allow you to accelerate your success because money loves speed. And if you're, caught in the minutia of creation, you won't be able to create the impact or drive the revenue that you need to stay in business. So those are some of the ways that we're using it right now in my own business and then to serve clients. What do you say to people who are intimidated by technology? Being somebody who's really comfortable with tech, how do you support folks like me who perhaps are not so comfortable and confident using it so that we can not get left behind, but also not have to learn a whole new set of skills in order to stay ahead of the time?
It's definitely very intimidating. I totally get that. And being someone who loves tech and is all around tech, I can get intimidated as well. So what I say to people is, I'll meet you where you're at. Try very hard not to get bogged down with the kind of like the shiny object syndrome. And every time there's a new tool, there's a new technique, you're trying to chase it and try to learn it all. You absolutely do not need to learn everything about every tech tool that there is. Take it bite-sized pieces at a time. If you put your framework in what you want to accomplish, what's the next best move that I can make to accomplish a goal? So if my next best move, for example, if your next best move is, you know what, I think I want to expand my social media presence. Your next best move is, what tool can I use to create an easier platform for photos and for videos? And then teach yourself that, whether it's going through YouTube or doing a course or hiring a coach. And then you say, okay, I've done the work to get the content. Now, what tool do I need to get it out there? So you always look for your next best move opposed to looking at the entire picture because it can get extremely overwhelming. Because at the end of the day, AI and tech, it's supposed to save you time, it's supposed to save you money, and it's supposed to give you more opportunities to be more creative and free, right? So if it's not doing those three things, then take a step back and say, okay, why is this taking up all of my time? Then perhaps it may not be the tool for you, right? If you're taking way too long to try to learn it, if it's stressing you out, because I firmly believe in taking care of yourself first. So if you are going through all these tools and you're completely stressed out, you're anxious, take a step back and try again, or maybe try another tool.
Jennifer, I'm going to ask you this because I'm one of those entrepreneurs who values my time quite a bit. And sometimes I don't want to take the time to learn a new tool, strategy, or tactic inside and out. I want to just write the check, hire the person to get it done for me so that I can stay in my zone of genius. How are people working with you in your business if they want to solve a problem right now, how can they work with you to come in and act as their tech advisor or make sure that things are being implemented properly to get the best result?
So my goal always is to help an entrepreneur either to show them how to do something or to do it for them. So I have different programs, I have different courses. I'm a consultant as well. So looking through your business and saying, okay, where are the gaps? Where are the things that we can streamline? Where are the things that we can automate? So I'm a coach. I'm an AI and tech coach, and also someone that is able to just take on a project and do it all, right? So there's many of us out there, and it's pretty exciting because I also stay in my lane in terms of I hire coaches for different things that I'm stuck with. And that is how I'm able to continue to be forward because I'm like, you know what? I'm not so great over here. I hired a coach to either do it for me or to guide me along the way, which in turn helps me with my stress level, right? And I don't have to be an expert at everything because you said earlier, stay in your lane. Like I definitely like to stay in my lane in certain things. So yeah, through courses, through conversations, through consulting, even just videos is how people can work with me.
Amazing. I love that. Let's talk a little bit about the health because my journey of entrepreneurship started with a health journey for me. As a matter of fact, I was in a near fatal surfing accident as a teenager that triggered a neurological syndrome that for a long time the medical system just kept prescribing medications to manage my symptoms but never address my syndrome as a whole. And over years of time, at the peak of my illness, I was 100 pounds overweight. I was totally depressed, feeling pretty hopeless that this was going to be my state in chronic pain, for the rest of my life. And that is a trap you never want to fall into, is feeling hopeless, depressed, and like there's no end in sight with your pain, or whether it's mental, physical, spiritual. Anything that's pulling you down is not lifting you up, right? And so it wasn't until I found a holistic neurologist who actually introduced me to my body and started to help me understand how different foods, different practices that would fortify me in my mental health, my emotional health, kind of looking at my whole body as a vessel for change and transformation, but doing one thing at a time. I know you're really passionate about health with your focus in athletics for, high level private institutions and education centers. Share with me a little bit about how you got into that space and your love for that work in the health space.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. I can't imagine what you went through, and it's just incredible that you're on the other side. I know it's probably still a struggle sometimes, and as you ask me about my journey, I just really resonate with that. I won't go too far back, but I used to be an athlete, right? I say used to. Everyone's an athlete, right? I used to be, I should say, really good, right? So I was that athlete that got on the basketball court, got on the volleyball court, ran track, didn't have to do too much training. I was just pretty awesome. I get to say this now because I'm almost 50. Fast forward into my 20s and 20s, I got and I'm saying this now because I believe I figured out the root. I got an infection when I was in Brazil. And from that point to now, I've been not the greatest. Energy low, body aches and pains, brain fog, fatigue. I just knew something was wrong. And over the years, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then I met a holistic doctor, Dr. Pearl, who's now Dr. Pearl, and she started treating me. And through getting treated myself, I just started to feel better. And I realized that a lot of times when we go to doctors, and I would go to doctor after doctor, and they're like, "You're fine. You just need to get some rest. You need to eat better. You're eating too much carbs," right? All these things. And I'm like, I'm barely eating and, I'm sleeping. So it can't just be that. And we got to the root of the cause. And my whole thing is you need to get to the root. I'm not a fan of just popping pills and medication and just trying to treat the symptoms. Treating the symptoms is definitely fine and good when you want to feel a little bit better and you're feeling debilitated. I absolutely am fine with that. But for me, I really need to get at that root. So through that, I said, you know what, there has to be other people like me. I've been going through this for years and years and years. I was told I had fibromyalgia. I was told I had celiac disease. I was told I had, oh my gosh, all sorts of things that I had no idea anything about. So then, when just before COVID, I started to do different challenges for people in the health and fitness space. Then COVID hit, and Pearl and I, who we co-founded Boss Life Mastery and started doing challenges and webinars for people to help them. Our main program was the Green Smoothie and Detox program. And through that, we helped people reverse diabetes. We helped people lose weight. We helped people gain energy, and their blood work was changing. Then we continued on and did a lemonade cleanse. Then we did a watermelon one. We did a liver flush, and we continued doing more. And because she is completely that is her world. It really resonated with a lot of people because the knowledge and the love that she had for this just really helped me with my own journey. And then we became teaching, we taught together, and then we taught hundreds and hundreds of people, which was just fascinating to me. And through that is how I started AI Tech Boss Academy, because we were, creating all these programs to help others. Then I said, you know what? Now we can have another area to help entrepreneurs too. And we like to do things so that for you and for others to help you, and so people can feel a little bit better, because we know it's really tough. And that's why it's so passionate for me for entrepreneurs to take care of themselves, because I feel like we take care of ourselves last, right? Our business, we take care of the family, we take care of our business, and then we settle with ourselves. And that's why I'm on a mission to, as I'm teaching and helping with AI and tech, I'll sprinkle in a little bit of wellness there, because I ended up in the ER many times, unfortunately, for sitting in this chair for 12, 13, 14 hours. And I don't want that to happen to other entrepreneurs. So if I can help, do whatever I can to help with that, help you with your business and help you with your health, hey, that's a winning formula for me.
That is a winning formula. Everything started. I love how you talk about the different challenges and the different modalities that you use to help people, transform the way that they feel and function on a daily basis. And everything really starts with the food. First is like making the decision that you want to feel and be better. And then next is like, okay, what are the steps to get me there? And in my life, I've recognized that there is me and then there's the guru, right? And the guru almost seems and feels out of reach. They've already accomplished, they've climbed the mountain, they've jumped the hurdles, they've made it, and now here they are telling me their story. Then somewhere in the middle is the coach. And the coach is a few steps ahead of me, but still close enough to my journey that they remember what it feels like, what the challenges are, what the mindset is that you have to overcome, which is different than the perspective of the guru. The guru will offer, mind-blowing techniques and strategies and tactics that you can use, but I'm sorry, not everybody can jump into an ice bath, drink celery juice, run 10 miles, sit in an infrared sauna and have a 4-hour morning routine. Some people got to get up and go in the morning, and so I love things that are easy and applicable. And I find that working with a coach like you, that you can offer, different techniques, strategies, recipes for success, whether it's for your health or for your business, that feel a little more attainable to me, like and understand where I am just a little bit better. And you also feel accessible. And so that's why I often choose to work with the person who's just a few miles ahead of me and not all the way at the destination. Although I love to work with gurus as well, but I love working with coaches like you because you know where I am so much better because it was just right on the other side for you. Yeah, so it makes a huge difference. And for those of you who are considering coaching, mentorship, I encourage you to look at the people who have the results that still feel attainable to you. And they don't have to have everything figured out, but if they have the one piece that they're doing really, really well, and that's an area that you're trying to work on developing mastery in, finding a coach like Jennifer, for instance, to manage all of your tech and to really introduce you and help you build your confidence with AI or your health journey or whatever it is that your key focus is, really investing into somebody who's just right on the other side of the hurdle that you're on. They can navigate you a lot differently than if you try and reach for the pie in the sky guru, who's so far ahead, so many years ahead of your transformation. Yes, absolutely. Tell me a little bit about how you like how you came to write your book, pulling together thought leaders and entrepreneurs. Tell me a little bit about your journey on writing your book, and what is having that book done for you in your business?
It actually, the main thing it did for me and my business is it kind of gave me a stamp of approval that yes, you can, right? So I don't know about you, but I always wanted to write. I think everyone has a book in them. And although this book, I only had these two books in particular, I have a chapter in it. It almost gave me permission to say, you know what, I can continue to do this and write an entire book myself, right? So for one, it was just really affirming for me, and I know for the other authors that are in the book who are also incredible, that really helped for them. The other thing that it did for me that I also know they did for others, it put me in a category with other thought leaders. As an expert in our fields, and to be in the space with them, it just felt like such a huge honor to be there. And then fast forward to be able to now write my own, it just kind of was like, okay, I can do this. And so that's been great. And funny enough, they're both called abundance, right? One's called Live Abundantly, and the other one is The Abundant Life. So that's why I love the name of your podcast, The Abundance Podcast. I just believe everything just comes together cosmically.
I agree. Yeah, for me, a real focus is I'm thinking a lot right now at this phase and stage of my life and business about legacy and what that stamp is that I'm going to leave behind. And for me, when you create literature, when you build community, when you have a product or service that's making an impact, the income is a direct reflection of the impact that you're making. And when you create a piece of literature or a piece of content and you start distributing it and it starts to make an impact in the people's lives that you want to serve, whether it was through referral or through an advertising or a speaking event or whatever, this literature allows you to make your mark and open new doors that you otherwise didn't know you had access to. For instance, when I wrote my book, I had an opportunity to speak on stages, podcast. I was featured on different shows. I had invitations to come and serve in other people's courses, to participate in co-opt other pieces of co-opt literature, and it's a positioning tool. Any one of these pieces of content allow you to leverage your book or your free report, your checklist as a positioning tool to enter onto bigger stages so you can make a bigger impact with your product, services, your knowledge, your expertise. And that's really the name of the game as an entrepreneur or business owner, is really thinking about how you can make the biggest, best impact in your community and how you can start to change people's lives, make them a little easier, make them a little better, make it a little sweeter, make it a little um, more enjoyable, and to offer and to preserve the wisdom that you have curated and cultivated over your years of living life, how you get to share that and leave your mark for the next generation. And so when I'm considering legacy and when I'm considering what it looks like and feels like to build abundance, to me, abundance means that I have more than enough and plenty to share. And that starts with my energy level and goes all the way through to the monetary value that I have to set my children up with, or to share with my communities, my churches, my donations, things of that nature. So whatever it is that you're passionate about, being able to cultivate abundance so that there's plenty of to share, is definitely a key focus that I encourage you to look at. And then on secondarily to that, when you're creating content, be it a book or course, any one of these things, again, looking at ways to build the most amount of leverage so that you can create the biggest amount of impact is the secret sauce here. So I love having Jennifer on the show. I love having you on the show, Jennifer, because I figured out that even though I'm really resistant to technology, AI was the tool to allow me the most amount of leverage with my time and allow me to, again, leverage my team to make the biggest amount of impact. I would love to hear from you what 3 things you would share with our audience who perhaps are just getting familiar with AI, and are just starting their businesses. Knowing what you know now after working with dozens of clients, helping hundreds of people in their respective spaces create transformation, what are 3 tips or tricks that you can offer that would help accelerate our listeners' success?
3 tips. Well, first of all, I believe everyone should write a book. It's your business card, and it definitely leverages you. And for me, it's a game changer. That's maybe a bonus tip. I would say one thing is to definitely like going through this journey and continuing to go through this journey is to embrace failure as feedback, right? So a lot of times as an entrepreneur, we're going to fail and we're going to keep having to get back up. And because it's a lot of ups and downs, it's really important that it's an opportunity for us to learn and grow and pivot and do something new. So definitely, I know people always say you should, you have to grow and failure is great, but just embrace it opposed to saying, you know what, I failed. I'm going to stop. I'm not going to continue on this journey because unfortunately that happens a lot with entrepreneurs. And I'm sure there's many of you out there that started something and you stopped because it failed. Guess what? If it didn't fail, maybe it wasn't that far of a reach for you. Maybe just try something, right? So if it was too easy, maybe it's because it's too easy and maybe it won't be that successful or maybe it will. So if you're out there listening and you started something and you failed and you stopped, go ahead and start it again or start something new. Tip number 2, I would say focus on providing value because there's so many entrepreneurs out there. A lot of people are looking for that quick sale. They're looking for that, what can I do to make the most amount of money right now? But honestly, if you focus on your client, you focus on your audience, and your main focus is what can I do to serve them? What do they need? And continue your model through that, then that is a successful business. If you're just focusing on yourself and just focusing on making money, that's going to eventually dwindle away. But if you keep on focusing on value, not only does it make you feel great, but you're able to fulfill the needs of others. And I would say the last tip time, but I'm gonna say it anyways, is cultivating a growth mindset, and that is huge, especially in AI. Because if we think about I've learned everything, I don't need to know anything else, then you're kind of stuck and you're not going to continue to grow. But if you look at learning and growing and having that growth mindset of what is it that I need to learn to get to the next step, right? That's how you continue to be successful. And then also when people give you feedback, then you're also able to look at things from multiple perspectives opposed to just I'm focused in here in my little box, right? And especially with you, Sonia, you have a team. Have this growth mindset that you're able to feed off of each other and cultivate ideas. If you didn't, you would be stuck and you wouldn't be as successful as you were. I know for sure when I look at a company or a program or someone who is successful, guaranteed, they look at failure as feedback, guaranteed. They're looking at how can I continue to grow and learn, and they're also looking at how I can give value to others, and that's what success is in their business.
Love it, Jennifer. This is one of my listeners' favorite segments because we get to just bring that value to the table. And a lot of them, are aspiring entrepreneurs launching their products and services for the first time. I also have legacy entrepreneurs, people who have built quite a bit of success in their respective fields and are really at that impact stage where they get to do purpose or passion driven projects, which is really exciting for me. No matter where they are in their journey, this tends to be their favorite segment. So I'll also offer 3 tips that you can use to grow your impact and your income with your business. Number 1, invest in the power of proximity. This is one of my super hacks in getting started in any business, building any brand, crafting any offer. I took my bright idea, which, by the way, not every idea I have is so bright, but I find that out by investing in the power of proximity. You never know who you're going to meet and unless you put yourself in the room to meet them. And so I consistently look for the events, for the masterminds, for the coaches, for the consultants, for the gurus in the space that I want to enter into. In my last business, that was cannabis. So I had to put myself in front of the most successful people in that field to find out what they were doing that was working and where the gap was in that space so that I could come in and put my unique talents into that gap to bridge it and then put myself in a unique selling position. Through the power of proximity, though, I was able to accelerate and fast track my success because strategic partnerships, guidance, coaching, support all came with the power of proximity. And did you know that you're just one phone call away from your ideal partner, from your ideal prospect? And you'll never know that unless you put yourself in the rooms and within proximity of somebody to be able to say, "Oh, I hear and see who you are and what you have to offer. You need to meet this person." You're one joint venture away from a completely different life. And so I want to encourage you to invest in the power of proximity. That'll also help you to eliminate a lot of the noise that's happening first inside your head and then outside of your head. That's tip number one, invest in the power of proximity. Tip number two, guys, eliminate the noise. Semi cliche, but I look at Beyonce, for instance, who's one of the top performers of our time, has built an incredible brand, and has built an incredible business, has cultivated a global community all through her talent. And she's not a standalone person. She has an incredible team around her. But her ability to eliminate the noise, to not look at what this pop star or this hip hop artist or that competition person is doing. One of her quotes is, "Be about your work. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Keep your blinders on. Stay focused. Continue to improve yourself and your craft, and your results will speak for themselves." That is something that I incorporate into my life every single day. And to your point, Jennifer, the power of mindset. It's such a power play to have a mindset that allows you to be unbothered by the opinion of sheep. If you are out there to make a difference, you're not thinking the same, you're not doing the same, you're not acting the same, you are already a unicorn. And so if you try and saw off your horn and act like a horse when you're a unicorn, or you try and act like a pony when you're a Pegasus, you're not going to fly. So I highly encourage you to put your blinders on, stay focused. Don't worry about what your competition is doing or what the guy next to you is doing. A racehorse wins the race because they are in sync and laser focused on where the finish line is, and they focus on their craft. They stay focused on what it's going to take to win that race, and don't bother yourself with the opinions of sheep. If you are the Pegasus, you should be flying. I think that that's another really powerful really powerful tool. And I'll say one more piece about that is every single one of us finds our confidence challenged, and will adopt this imposter syndrome and ask ourselves, am I qualified to follow this dream? I have this idea, but do I really have what it takes? Am I the one? Should I do this? What are they going to think about me? Don't bother yourself with the opinions of sheep. If you have the courage, the people, the team, the time will show itself to you. So just keep going. Final one is higher up. And this does not mean that you have to have the money, but if you identify your lane and zone of genius, for instance, for me, my zone of genius is communication and connections. I know that if I can put myself in a position where I'm communicating and connecting, that I'm going to thrive no matter what my offer is. If yours is technology, stay in your lane of genius and partner with somebody who's a powerful communicator. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. For instance, I would 100% hire Jennifer into my business because I don't want to manage any of the technology. I want to tell her what my goal is and then figure out how we can pair our talents to achieve that goal the fastest. And by achieving that goal and leveraging each other's talents inside of the team, we'll be able to make the biggest impact in the shortest period of time. Remember, money loves speed, and money is just one form of energy that is required to impact and multiply your impact no matter what your products or services are. And this is important to pass on as a part of your legacy as well, because you want to teach your children you want to leave to your next generation, that they have the power to do, be, and have whatever it is that they can desire, that whatever it is that they desire. They only need the time, the team, and the resources to make it possible. And I'll tell you this much right now, if you have the right people in place, you can accomplish nearly anything that your mind can drum up. So those are my 3 tips. Jennifer, share a little bit about where people can find you and follow you if they're interested in having you come in to be the AI tech boss for their organization.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for those tips. They were awesome. I was just thinking, I had a little bit of imposter syndrome even coming on your podcast, right? So it shows up different times depending on how you're feeling that week, right? So even those people who are really successful, sometimes they get those imposter syndrome moments as well. It's just about pushing through. So thank you for sharing that. Yes, I'm everywhere on social media in terms of Instagram. I'm on TikTok working on that a little bit, and all AI Tech Boss Jen is where you can find me. That's my handle. My new website is launching, jentaughtme.com. I'm excited about that. And of course, I'm on Linktree, aicoach.co.com was gone, right? So the best place to find me is jentaughtme.com, and you can certainly reach out to me there.
I'm so excited. By the way, Jennifer, you were invited because I recognize you as somebody who's making a really significant impact. And I have a real passion right now for highlighting women in tech, because I believe that especially, I'll just say this, minority women in tech, because we do not have a loudest voice. We do not have the loudest voice, but somehow are making an incredible impact. And I'll never forget one of my good friends, Dashita Dawson, who was, a corporate worker for the Target organization, beautiful Nubian queen. I mean, could not believe it. She left her corporate job to move into the cannabis industry. And I watched her from the very, very start consistently build a beautiful brand and make an incredible impact with her business, and all partnered with technology and having the right team in place. So when I found out what you were doing, and you came highly recommended from several other respected guests, when I found out what you were doing and how you were serving and the areas that you're serving in, I knew that you were going to be the right fit for my show. And so, in final thoughts, guys, I will say, have the courage to do the things that you never thought you could or should, and you'll never know what kind of opportunities will present themselves to you. In that spirit, Jennifer, thank you so much for being one of my guests here. I can't wait to have you back on the show to share more about how you're helping to create abundance, making an incredible impact in your life and your business.